And in a time not so far in the future, the world was broken. Cities fire-ravaged, rivers filled with blood, children who had once laughed and played cried themselves to sleep beneath striated skies. Greed reigned, hate seeped through every crevice, and peace was merely a word in books long since degraded into ash. But high upon the mountain, in retreat from the clamoring chaos, lived a monk. Tenzin was his name. Once Tenzin had traversed the chaos before him. Now, he chose silence, meditation, and the path within. Every day in the morning, Tenzin used to light a candle. May all beings be free of suffering. May peace return to this world. Greater than, but inside, he doubted. What good was just one prayer in a world that was so loud with violence? One night, while thunder split the sky and rain blasted the earth, there was a knock at the monastery door. Tenzin opened it, and found a man in black robes. His face pale, eyes glowing red. The visitor smiled, with no warmth. Greater than, you pray for peace? He asked. I can deliver peace. Greater than. Tenzin was serene, but curious. Greater than, at what cost? He asked. The man leaned in closer to him. His voice was a distant whisper, inside the soul. Your soul, for their peace. You give me your light, I will end the wars. Silence the hatred, heal the world. Flashbacks of war and destruction, face after face of pain and suffering. Tenzin closed his eyes, and he saw it all. Bombs dropping, children screaming, forests burning. He saw the pain, and he saw the hope that could rise if it all ended. His heart broke. If my soul can give peace, he said, take it. The man in black smiled even wider. Then it's done. He touched Tenzin's chest and a light flashed and dimmed inside him. The monk fell to the ground. The next morning, something was different. Guns crumbled to dust. Soldiers dropped their guns and cried. Enemies hugged. Countries tore down their walls. Birds returned. Trees began to bloom again. The world was quiet, for the first time in centuries. And people whispered, a miracle has happened. But high in the mountains, Tenzin sat in stillness. His eyes open, but distant. He no longer felt the wind, or the warmth of the sun. He had surrendered his soul, and with it, his joy, his peace, his self. The villagers came to thank him, but he did not smile. The children brought him flowers, but he could not smell them. He had saved the world, but lost himself. A year has passed. On the night of the beginning of peace, the man in black returned. How does it feel? He asked. You did it. Tenzin looked with hollow eyes. I gave them peace, but I have none. The man nodded. That is the price. But, there is one more choice. You can take it all back, he said. And your soul comes back. There will be war again. But you will be whole. Tenzin sat still for a long time. Then, for the first time in a year, he cried. Not for himself. For the world. He lifted his gaze to the man and whispered. Let them keep their peace. I will carry the silence. The man was in shock. Never in all his years of robbing souls had anyone chosen this way. A single tear fell from his pale face. And then something happened. A golden light burst from the monk's chest. A warm golden light that filled the mountains. The man in black smiled. You have passed the last test, he said. Peace that is born from sacrifice becomes eternal. He disappeared, and Tenzin smiled. His soul did not leave. It only took a deeper shape. And so the world remained at peace. Not due to magic, not due to promises, but because one man chose compassion over comfort, sacrifice over self, and in doing so, reminded humanity of what peace really means. Not silence, but love, not absence of war, but the presence of understanding. We all hold one piece of the world in our hearts. And sometimes, to heal it, we need to give away a piece of ourselves. But in this giving, we may discover our authentic soul.